Is skill-based matchmaking a problem in Destiny? I'm sure many of us have been aware of the skill-based matchmaking system for a while now, but does it actually improve our Destiny Crucible experience? In this case, I would argue no, and for several reasons. Firstly, while it's not explicitly stated, Destiny does have somewhat casual playlists, such as regular Control, Mayhem, and Rumble for example. Then it has the more competitive playlists, such as Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris. Despite certain playlists being considered casual or competitive, they both still implement the same skill-based matchmaking system, except for Trials of Osiris, which claims to match you with players on the same number of wins as you. Although at this stage, I think we can nearly debunk that theory, after I've had many encounters of playing the same team back to back, when it's pretty clear that the team that just won will be one win ahead on their passage, so if the same wins matchmaking system is true, you should never play the same team back to back. But moving back to Iron Banner, that completely makes sense to utilize skill-based matchmaking, considering it's labelled as a prove your worth event with light leveling enabled. The problem is that it's no different to regular Crucible, just without the light levels. You still find parties of high-ranking clans going in with wombo combos, the last Mitre, 1000-yard aim assist, Suncheezer Warlocks throwing dick bolt grenades, and of course Doctrine of Arsing. Now I'd go in expecting all of this in Trials or Iron Banner, but if you're planning to just unwind and actually battle people in a fair firefight, you're out of luck. The largest issue with the current skill-based system is the lack of customizable and explicitly casual playlists. The plea for custom lobbies has been ongoing before the game's launch, and it still blows my mind why it hasn't been implemented. But allowing players to merely choose how they want to play in a non-competitive match seems too impractical for Bungie, somehow. Had there been an option to select competitive or non-competitive on the way into the Crucible selection screen, the issue of skill-based matchmaking becomes a non-issue, as players now have the choice. The competitive playlist features skill-based matchmaking, while the non-competitive playlist utilises location-based matchmaking. I understand that given the number of Crucible players now, essentially doubling the number of game modes would over-dilute the player base, but had it been in place from the beginning, skill-based matchmaking would even be considered a problem. While we're on this topic, there really needs to be some sort of in-game ranking system so you actually feel like you're progressing, kinda like Prestige in Call of Duty. Speaking of Call of Duty, they seem to have got on the balance right. The current Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has both a non-competitive playlist, or in that game is known as Public, which uses connection as a matchmaking source. There is also a competitive playlist known as the Arena, which matches you with opponents of similar statistics or rankings. Not to mention, both the Public and Arena modes have their own forms of in-game progression, while Destiny has neither. And no, I wouldn't consider Crucible reputation or faction reputation level as a means of progression, especially considering 5 modes to light are roughly equivalent to 1 Crucible win. It's not like you can get a new Crucible emblem or Prestige or Crucible level. Obviously, Call of Duty and Destiny have different developers, but since they're both under the Activision umbrella, surely someone has thought the success of Call of Duty could have been implemented into Destiny. To quickly summarise my first point of disliking skill-based matchmaking, I'm not keen on the idea primarily due to there being no other option. You have to play people at your skill level or get out. My second dislike of skill-based matchmaking is the connection issues it causes. Living in Australia, finding a decent connection is already an uphill battle, but deliberately forcing me to match with international lobbies does nothing but exacerbate the issue. Now I get that it's not like Call of Duty in this regard. A yellow bar connection in Destiny is still very playable and not a 9-day disadvantage, unlike in Call of Duty where a 300 millisecond yellow bar delay is a serious detriment to your ability to compete. Nevertheless, lowering the quality of the connection to ensure a competitive match is found is not how a matchmaking system should work. At the very least, the bare minimum of requirements for a skill-based matchmaking system is you look for similar level players locally first before looking internationally. I'm unsure if Destiny actually uses this system, but given the number of yellow and red bar lobbies I've played in, it would surprise me. Finally, skill-based matchmaking is marketed as a fair matchmaking system for everyone, and while this may be the case in theory, I say in theory because the lag completely breaks the fairness, it completely diminishes the fun factor of Crucible. Everyone wants to do well, win the game, finish with a strong kill-death ratio, but if you're more or less playing yourself, or someone similar to you in terms of skill, you're not going to be stomping any lobbies. Public game modes of Crucible should focus on fun over sweat, fun over lag, fun over everything. That's ultimately it, make Crucible fun again, not a monotonous grind. Of course, the issue remains of the newer players, or those without the greater skill set, the people who benefited the most from the skill-based matchmaking system. A quick but effective fix: provide one single game mode for these players, somewhat similar to the boot camp game mode in Call of Duty World at War. If you're new, or your stats are particularly low, you're eligible to play in lobbies much more suited to your ability. This boot camp game mode will need some sort of monitoring to counter reverse boosters and whatnot, but if it's managed correctly, it would promote a much better experience for everyone. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this sort of thing, feel free to subscribe. I intend to do more videos like this in the future. Catch you later.